and I miss him already.
It is said that the measures of a man's life is love, courage, and bravery. If that be true, then the young man buried here today in life stood very, very tall. I'm Bill McKay, News Center 8, Cleveland.
Well, I just stay in the house and tend to my business. That's all I can do.
You're scared. It's terrible around here.
West 30th Street, and this is what we're talking about. We're talking about hard drugs, Tulio, booze. We're talking about open sex. We're talking about house break-ins, houses being set afire, and murder. We're talking about hell-raising of every description. It takes place right here.
They're all on dope, believe me. This place was a house of prostitution.
It was this house where 30-year-old Daniel Munchkin Markovitz was found stabbed to death. Early today in the morning darkness, the house was set afire. Police say they have a suspect. That man is being sought. You would think that neighbors would come forward, but they are afraid. There have been threats, and they are begging for help.
I just hope they clear it up where we have peace and quiet, where we don't have to move.
It could happen. We have learned that a special police task force of plainclothes undercover men and women, along with uniformed officers, have been assigned to clear up the problems on West 30th. I'm Bill McKay, News Center 8, Cleveland. A remote southwest corner here in Lucas County. This is where the digging is taking place. Authorities say they're not sure if they will find anything. One thing they are very sure of is that a cult does exist and that sacrifices have been made.
Our information tells us that the cult's activities are involved in sacrificing human beings, and they sacrifice them perhaps as many as 4 or 5 times a year.
Deputies say the leader of the group is 50-year-old Leroy Freeman. There is a warrant for his arrest for stealing his granddaughter, Charity Freeman, 3 years ago.
And we feel that she may be buried out here. She was one of the young people that had been sacrificed.
Today's digging came after 3 months of investigation. Authorities saying they had information that there was to be another cult killing this weekend. So they broke the story. One report has it that cult members would stand in a circle while 2 members engaged in sexual intercourse in the center. 9 months later, the newborn child would be sacrificed. Thus far, only one piece of evidence has been found which might be significant. Nothing else at this location has been uncovered. And while authorities say they know where the cult members gather, no arrests have been made. They say they plan, however, to continue the investigation and to keep on digging in search for the remains of possibly 75 children. I'm Bill McKay, News Center 8, Toledo. For any one of many reasons, they find themselves alone, out of work, homeless, on the streets.
What are your future plans after you've been with us a while?
Tonight, the person on the other end of the line will have a place to stay. But tomorrow, maybe not.
I pray it doesn't come to that point, because I don't know whether or not I would be able to say no, to turn them away.
But the fact is, the Salvation Army's Cleveland Shelter Program will cease next month when federal monies run out, and without state or private assistance, the shelters will close. It will mean that people like Yvonne, severely beaten by her husband, will have no place to go.
I would just, me and my kids would be on the street with nothing.
Or the young man at Harbor Light, thrown from his home.
When I first came here, I had nothing, and when I was here with their help and their support, I was able to get my life together.
Thousands of Greater Cleveland people have been helped, but unless the Salvation Army gets help, the doors to shelter houses will be locked. I'm Bill McKay, News Center 8, Cleveland.
If you look at her face just once, you'll never forget it. Put it by your telephone, put it in your car, put it in the stores, put it in your minds. Somewhere somebody's going to see her.
And that's the way it all began. June 13th, 1980, 5 years ago, when 8-year-old Tiffany Papish left her home about a block and a half away to come to this store. She would never be seen again. There would be hundreds of man-hours spent searching through miles of woods and residential neighborhoods, nothing. The man on trial for her murder would volunteer to help in the search. He even tried to sell Tiffany Papish T-shirts until Frank Papish had him arrested. That was 5 years ago. And today, that man is on trial for the murder of this man's daughter.
There's just no way, at least I've searched my soul for the answers. There's just no way I could explain to people what you have to live with when something like this happens.
The answers to questions 5 years old, perhaps about to be revealed in the trial of Brandon Lee Flagner. I'm Bill McKay, News Center 8 Cleveland.